How can it be that up to 92% of people give up on their New Year's resolution by January 19th? When I first heard the article, and then I read another one that said 80%, but I'm like, whether it's 80 or 92%, how can it be? I mean, perhaps you're like me and you're saying, okay, I want to know what I need to do so I don't give up on my resolution. Now, let's face it, we've all set New Year's resolutions that we've given up on, right? You know, we're all, oh, so motivated, we can't wait to set them, and then we're like, what happened? Well, the one thing I know from my years of advising some of the most successful advisors and entrepreneurs in the world is that successful people do things differently. And the reality of it is you need to be operating from the formula that successful people operate from. Not just setting goals, but setting goals to achieve goals. And one of the things that I always find fascinating is how many experts that tell you how to set goals tell you the wrong thing. Literally. I mean, I know how to set goals and achieve them. My clients know how to set goals and achieve them. I want to know how to set goals and achieve them. And I'm not talking about some little tiny goal. I'm talking about those big goals that live in your heart. So if you want to know, stay tuned. So I'm Annette Bao. I'm the host of Millionaire Insider. For over 30 years, I've been advising and researching the top 1% and 2% of millionaires to learn what millionaires with amazing lives do differently. And now I provide you practical, easy to implement insights so you can take your business, your life, and your money to the next level. And today we're diving into how to set New Year's resolutions that stick, creating habits that work. So let's dive in. Please click subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified of future episodes. And also go down and comment. I love to see your comments and I read those. We always get these emails. I'm like, I don't see the emails, but I see the comments. So please go down and comment and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you on future episodes. For today's show notes, go to millionaireseries.com/126. For all show notes, go to millionaireseries.com/MI. So the materials and intellectual property in this course are copywritten by millionaireseries.com. The information we provide is not intended to replace healthcare advice or financial advice, tax, retirement, estate planning, any type of advice. Before you begin a plan, you agree to consult with your own team of advisors and review your situation. All participants agree to hold millionaireseries.com and its affiliates harmless for results achieved or not achieved, and all international copyrights are reserved. So let's dive in. New Year's resolutions, creating habits that work, get you results. All right, so a really important resource for you, our goal setting guide. You can go to millionaireseries.com/GS guide, but that guide is really going to help you to set your goals. We're diving in today to what you need to do to make sure that when you set a resolution, you achieve it, but you really need to look at this from a bigger perspective and set all of your goals. And if you go to millionaireseries.com/GS guide, you can download our goal setting guide and that'll help you a lot. The other thing I want to give you as far as a resource before we dive in is our 3-step plan training. You know, a lot of times we go and we set goals or there's things we want to achieve, but we don't have a plan. We don't have a plan in place for our life or for our business. You can go to millionaireseries.com/3-step plan and access our 3-step plan training to get more clients, more revenue, and more results. That's really important. We're not going to dive into all the components you need. Today we're just going to teach you how to set resolutions, but I encourage you, if you want to take your business, your life to the next level, or you're not achieving your goals, I encourage you to go watch this training, millionaireseries.com/3-step plan. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that you need to start big. If you read the vast majority of experts, they'll tell you it's really easy to set a goal if you start small. So I just want to ask you a question. How many multi-millionaire, super successful people start small? Want to venture a guess? Well, I know. Like, I don't know any. None. I know no multimillionaires who are super successful who don't set major goals. I'm talking people who've earned their money, people who have created amazing businesses and amazing lives. They have amazing goals. And most people would look at their goals and say that there's no way you can achieve them. And yet they do. So the first thing to ask is, what do you really want to achieve? Do you really want to lose 50 pounds? Well, if you want to lose 50 pounds in your heart of hearts, then set your goal at losing 50 pounds, not 5 or 10. The goal is to determine what you really want in your heart of hearts, like what you would just love to have. If you want to make $1 million a year, then set your goal for $1 million. The issue is so many people will tell you to set realistic goals. Now, I'm not saying that it's not true that, if you set realistic goals, they're easier to achieve. Well, the goal here isn't what's easier to achieve. The goal is to achieve what you want to achieve. And what I find is you need to set the big goal, the goal you really want, and then you need to set realistic tasks to achieve those goals. Big difference. You know, I look at people and they say, well, I really want to earn $1 million a year, but I'm going to set my goal for 250. And I'm like, let me guess why, because it's realistic, right? How did you know? How did you know? It's because I've studied this stuff. The reality of it is, though, if your subconscious mind, what you truly want, is not in line with your prefrontal cortex, or your belief is not aligned with what you're stating you want, you're not going to achieve it. You've got to have alignment. And the first thing is you've got to know what you really want. And that oftentimes requires setting a goal that's not realistic. If you want to lose 50 pounds, then that should be your focus, not losing 5 pounds. It's like, okay, now I have 45 left. I mean, how depressing is that? We've got to start with what we truly want. The next step is you've got to decide. Most, as I mentioned, experts say, oh, start with a small goal. You know, first of all, write down what you want. I want you to start with the big goals. What do you really want? What do you truly want to achieve in your life? I mean, my goal was just to be a millionaire. I thought if I could have $1 million, like, oh my gosh. And then I thought, you know, why not $1 million? Why not 100 million? So then my goal was 100 million. And then I started working with a lot of people who had hundreds of millions. And I realized it's somewhere between 1 million and 100 million. I want to have an amazing life. I want to have an amazing family. I want to have health. And so I'm not saying you can't have that, but the people that I was around were so focused on their business and not enough on their interpersonal life, their relationships, their health. You know, it didn't turn out too great. So once you get clear on what you want to achieve, and there's not a right or a wrong, I'm not here to judge you. I just want you to set whatever you truly want. Then I want you to write down your major goals. And let's just say you have 10 of them. Then what I want you to do is go and prioritize them, the most important to the least important. What do you really want? And you have to understand, I truly believe you can have anything you want. You just can't have everything. So that's why you got to get really clear. What do you want? Like for me, I'm not willing to say, okay, I've got more money, but I don't have a great family. Like that to me doesn't feel right. I want to have wealth and an amazing family and amazing health. Well, that requires time. It requires commitment. It requires clarity. It requires focus. Then the next thing you've got to do is you've got to get really clear on what you want and how you're stating it. So instead of saying, I earn more money next year, I earn $1 million in the year, whatever year it is, with ease. Or I want to lose weight. I weigh, how much do you weigh? The exact amount you weigh is a much better affirmative statement than I lose 10 pounds. I don't want you focusing in on losing 10 pounds. I want you focusing in on what is going to program into your mind so you're going to be able to achieve it. Big difference, subtle but big. So I earn amount of money in year. I weigh how much? Pretty simple. All right, the next thing you gotta do is you gotta develop and elevate your worth barometer. I'm not gonna dive into worth barometer here because I did entire training on it. You can go to millionaireseries.com/105. Your worth barometer is a combination of your beliefs and your self-esteem. And when you have a healthy worth barometer, you show up and do what you need to do. When you don't, you make excuses. You procrastinate. You focus on why it's so hard. The reality of it is that some of the things you're going to have to do are going to just require rewiring your beliefs, your self-esteem, your behaviors. And if you have a healthy worth barometer, it's a lot easier. But what you got to do is you got to know where you want to go, what you want to do, and then you got to focus in on showing up each and every day to make it a reality. I'm much more concerned about the activities you're doing consistently than I am the results you're getting. Meaning I know if you do the right activities consistently, you're going to get the results. And if you're not getting results, then we got to look and say, okay, what are you doing? What's not working? But it all starts by having a healthy worth barometer, because by having a healthy worth barometer and working to elevate it every day, you're going to have 10 times more success. In fact, the number one indicator of your results, your success, is your worth barometer, your beliefs and your self-esteem. If you truly believe that you can do it, you believe, you know you have value in what you're doing, everything changes. The problem is a lot of times, and believe me, I suffered. I had a low worth barometer for the first 38 or 40 years of my life. But once I started understanding this and I understood how critical it is, I started working every day to elevate mine, and I still do. And there are things things that still trigger me, cause me to go to below the grid, but I do it a lot less often than I used to. And I'm above the grid a lot more than I'm not. And that's where I want you to get. So again, millionaireseries.com/105 is going to give you a deep dive into your worth barometer. But your worth barometer, as I mentioned, is the #1 indicator of your success. It's going to dictate how you show up. It dictates what you weigh. I mean, we have had so many people lose weight, and people are like, I didn't know you were a weight coach. I'm like, I didn't know either. I'm not. But when you start elevating your worth barometer, what you find is you make different choices. You make different choices. When my husband says something that could trigger me, and I'm like, I think I'll take a deep breath and I'm not going to respond or react. It transforms your relationships. It transforms your weight. It transforms your life. And that, my friends, is where we all want to be, because we want to have money and an amazing life. The next thing you got to do to achieve your goal is you got to align. The only way you'll ever achieve a goal, you got to have your subconscious mind and your prefrontal cortex in alignment. The problem is we set these major goals on, maybe December 31st. We're so excited. And we have this big goal we set in our prefrontal cortex. The problem is we haven't brought that limbic, subconscious, primal brain along. And it's like, oh, I don't want to change anything. I'm here to conserve calories. I'm here to protect you. I don't want to change anything. I want to keep the status quo. That's the problem with not aligning your conscious mind with your subconscious mind. So we got to program it. If you want a resource on how to program your mind, you can go to millionaireseries.com/106. I'm not going to get into all of it. I walk you step by step through each step to do it. And it's critical. If you want to make your New Year's resolution a reality, you got to program your mind. You got to learn that skill. The next thing you got to do is you got to keep it simple. And believe me, we now live between 3 homes. And we had 2 homes for 20 some years and it worked just fine. And then we got a 3rd one. And the one thing, I'm not saying that I regret it, and our 3rd home, which overlooks the ocean, we do rent out, so that's another source of revenue. And once you get a certain amount of money, you got to put your money somewhere. But the one thing that I would just say about anything you do is ask yourself, is this going to simplify my life or is it going to complicate it? Because less is more. The goal is to simplify your business, your life, your money. When we say yes to something, we're automatically saying no to something else. Whatever we say yes to, we want it to simplify our lives. Because what you find as you continue to mature, get older, is the fact that a simple life, one that's less complicated, is a lot funner and it's a lot easier. And one of the things I really try to do is look at every decision I make. Is this going to simplify my life? So when you're looking at setting your resolutions, just ask that question. Will this simplify my life? Will this make my life more happy? Like one of the things I always thought that I wanted to do, make multi-millions. And then what I realized is I didn't have to make multi-millions to have an amazing life. Once I got to almost a 7-figure mark in my business as an advisor, I realized I was a lot happier making $500,000 and having an amazing life. Because, and you will know too, the way you set up things and you're leveraging your assets from a perspective, not from debt, but from a perspective of having them really work for you, I didn't have to make millions. And my lifestyle wasn't such that, I had all this debt, I had no debt, everything's paid off. So when you start creating more simplicity in your life and you make it easier, it's just going to benefit you all the way around. The next step is you have to write down your goals. Now that you know which ones are important, you've listed them, you've identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down, you want to write them out in an affirmative statement. The best format is I am or I active verb. I am an amazing partner. I am an amazing mother. I earn $500,000 in year with ease. My family and I are healthy and happy. I serve 100 affluent, non-traditional women. I serve 100 manufacturer reps. Doesn't matter what it is, but just make sure it's really clear and it's I am or I active verb. The next step is to identify your high value activities and your income producing activities. Remember I said start big with what you really want, and then your daily activities, your high value activities, your income producing activities, those can be realistic, but don't make the goals be, because what's going to happen is you're going to set a realistic goal, but it's not what you want in your heart of hearts. You're not going to achieve it because it's not in alignment. So in working with tens of thousands of entrepreneurs and advisors and speaking and all the things we've done where we've gotten so much feedback, the one thing we have learned that has been so effective in setting goals and achieving them, or resolutions and achieving them, is to identify your goal and then identify 1 or 2 high value activities that you will consistently complete. And the high value activities are ones typically that you're going to do every single day. Now, if you have a business, hopefully you do, you're going to be completing 4 to 6 high value activities a day, and you're going to combine those with income producing activities. Really important. When you're not focused on income producing activities, what happens is you're really going to make your desired revenue, and you may not even make enough to survive. But it's absolutely critical that you got your high value activities. And then as far as your personal high value activities, those are ones like focused breathing, your meditation, your daily regimen, your exercise, all of those things that are so critical. But the most important thing what you want to do with your high value activities and your income producing activities is you want to create habits so that you consistently do it. One of the things that I don't like about traveling is the fact that it gets me out of my routine. Now, fortunately, because I own a couple other homes, now we're able to spend most of our time between those. And I've got everything there I need. I've got my Vitamix. I've got my mini elliptical. I've got literally everything I need so I can still stay in that daily routine. But what you're going to find is as you start creating those routines and they become habits, they're going to get hardwired into your subconscious mind. And what's going to happen is you're going to wake up and you're going to do them. Like I know every morning, I wake up, I do my focused breathing, I do my restorative yin yoga, I do my chant, I set my intention, I drink my power shake, I have my green tea, and then mid-morning I have my matcha latte, and then, I just have it down pat where I can replicate it wherever I am, and that's where I want you to get. So, all right, we have our high value activities. Those are important. You've got to have those scheduled. Then what you want to do is you want to look at the activities on your list that are low value, and on the low value ones, you want to delegate those to an assistant or a team member. And then your non-value. And I'm not talking about rest and relaxation when you need it. I'm talking about watching mindless TV, watching or scrolling down mindless social media. All of those things you need to eliminate. All right, so we got our high value activities that we're going to schedule, low value activities we're going to delegate, and our non-value we're going to eliminate. Those, my friends, are a game changer, and it's going to help you immensely when it comes to setting and achieving your New Year's resolutions. All right, now if you want a deeper dive into setting your goals and you want all the different categories, you can go to how to set and achieve your goals, millionaireseries.com/107. But there I dive deep into each of the categories, how to write them out. I give you examples. There's no point in my going over all that today because you can go watch that and it's a very helpful resource. The next thing you want to do is you want to visualize it. So the first step in visualizing is you got to slow down. Just slow it down. And how do you slow down? You slow it down by breathing in through your nose, hold it, and then release. In through your nose, hold it, and then release. And ideally, you're doing at least 5 of those into the count of 8, hold it for 8, and then release for 10. The next thing you want to do is you want to reduce or eliminate as much clutter and junk as you can. I love getting rid of stuff, and I will tell you, I have a lot of stuff. But the more stuff we can get rid of, the better. You want to get clear, and you want to get really clear on what you want. Once you have a lot of the junk gone, you're going to be in a better position to get clear. And by doing consistently your focused breathing, you're going to be much more clear mentally so that you know what you need to do and you can really determine what you want so you know what you're going after. You got to get clear on what you want to impact, where you want to make a difference. Who do you want to serve? What do you really want to do in this world to really be of service and of value? If you could do anything or be anything, what would it be? If money or time were not an issue, what would you do? Then the next question is, why aren't you doing it? The other issue is we've got to get really clearly focused on what we want. Most people are very focused on what they don't want. But what do you want? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want your family legacy to be? What do you want your business legacy to be? You've got to get really clear on that, and then you've got to keep your eye on the target. You know, we get bombarded by as many as 100,000 messages a day, and most of them are just vying for our attention to get us to do something that takes us off track. When you get really clear on what you want, really clear, you could have a boulder go in your path and you won't get deterred. When you're not clear and you've not taken the time to really do that focused breathing and to really get in the driver's seat of your mind, you'll find pebbles get you off course. You know, a little thing happens before you know it here, or you have a tangent because something didn't happen, somebody cut you off in traffic. Those are details. Those are things that should not be affecting us. And yet, if we've not trained our mind, they will. You've got to look at the elements of what do high achievers, high performers do versus low and average. And one of the most important things you got to do when it comes to really visualizing is to be able to see what it is you want, be able to get a perfect view of it. So, for example, maybe it's a car. You know, a lot of people love that new smell of a car. You know, I personally think, oh my God, there's so many chemicals in here, I don't really enjoy it. But the reality of it is whether you see it, whether you smell it, whether you can hear the engine, whatever it is, that's what you want to do when you visualize it so that you can really make it a reality. And ideally what you're doing is you're creating a visualization book and a visualization board. I just saw on social media just yesterday, somebody's like, is anyone else creating their visualization board? I'm like, what a great time to change that. And in setting goals, I dive into that. I share with you some of my own visualization board. But my visualization book, literally, my second home up in the mountains, it just gives me goosebumps every time I see it. But it literally is what I had in my visualization book that I looked at for 5 years. And even though my house is up on the hill, when we go for a walk at night and we see the lights, it's like that's exactly what I visualized for 5 years. And now my condo overlooking the ocean is exactly what I visualized for the last 10 years. That, my friends, is the power of visualization. All right, so again, go download the guide, millionaireseries.com/GS-guide. So you can actually set your goals. Again, millionaireseries.com/GS guide, but that's going to help you a lot. It's got the exact format there so you don't have to create it yourself. And then please go and watch the 3-step plan training. Go to millionaireseries.com/3-step plan, because the 3-step plan is really going to help you to get more clients, more revenue, and more results. If your plan's either not working or you don't have one, this is a great resource for you. Again, millionaireseries.com/3-step plan. So please click subscribe and ring the bell, and also comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you're going to commit to doing, and then come back and report it. That's how you get results. You can go to millionaireseries.com/126 for the show notes for today. For all show notes, go to millionaireseries.com/MI. So there you have it. How to create habits at work so that you can achieve your New Year resolutions. Pretty simple, huh? All right, before you go, I have one more tip for you, but I'm Annette Ba'u, the host of Millionaire Insider. All international copyrights are reserved. So what I recommend you do is click the link above. These links are specifically designed to help you in the next level you need based on watching this. So please click that, and I'll look forward to seeing you on that training.